Oof. What a gut punch of an episode. Episode 64 of ReZero. This episode broke me. This episode absolutely broke me multiple times, getting teary-eyed. Ugh. Where do I even start? There's so much to go through. We got the reappearance of the undying lolly that gave us some ASMR. The Astrea family is just helpless. Like, there's such a broken family. Like, I've seen broken families, but the Astrea family is just so broken. I thought we were going to get closure in this episode. I honestly thought we were going to get some massive closure with these characters, and it only feels like Wilhelm got closure to his wife. But the divide between those that are alive has been even more separated. I think it feels like it's been more separated. Like, Wilhelm respects what Reinhard did. He did what I couldn't do, but it almost feels like Wilhelm doesn't see his grandchild. He sees the Sword Saint. He sees basically a robot. This thing killed her without even thinking. And then you have all this emotion kind of building up in the scene. Everybody's freaking out. Everybody's unsettled by this. And Reinhard is just standing there as a Sword Saint. And it seems like all of his emotion is broken. This boy is so broken. And then, yes, you still have Heinkel sitting here trying to manipulate this stupid situation. I think he did that. I have solidified my thoughts on what Heinkel did. I believe that he set that whole thing up with the white whale. I think right here he was trying to frame, well, he's obviously framing Reinhard. Like, he's doing all this crap. And I think Wilhelm knew it. I think Wilhelm has known this entire time that Heinkel has been doing this stuff. And he's still not lashing out at him. Because obviously it's my son. It is Theresia's son. This family is so broken. Let's just start from the very beginning. Let's kick it off from the very beginning, and we can hit each point by point. But yes, opening up with Wilhelm facing off Theresia, getting a little moment there of kind of getting him mentioning the idea that all doubts kind of get taken away the moment that your sword is drawn. Obviously, as we see, that is not the case. This guy, by all signs, it points to that Wilhelm was not going to fall through. Yes, Heinkel shows up, and it throws him off, but I don't think he was going to do it. I think in the end, he probably would have drawn back his sword. He was not committed to it. And there was a side of me that almost felt like when Reinhard finally shows up and he's yelling at him to stop, that's my Theresia. I almost thought that for a minute there, that was going to be an aspect that he wants to do it. He doesn't want his grandchild to bloody his hands. It goes back to really what Wilhelm is kind of struggling with Reinhard is I blamed him for her death because he took upon himself her divine blessings. And in doing that, Reinhard believes that he killed his grandmother. And now here, it's going to happen again. Here, he's going to stain his hands again with her blood, and it's going to solidify it in his brain. Back here, what I mistakenly said to him, that it was his fault that she's dead. It's so screwed up. But now Heinkel showing up, that was interesting because when he first shows up, when they're fighting, when Heinkel first shows up, he says, "What did I do?" And he keeps saying things to allude to this, that it's his fault, that he did something. What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? It could be, to my theory that I'll get into in a minute, that he caused the death of her by literally sending her off to the white whale, and now he's feeling guilty. But I also wonder if there's an aspect in here where he was plotting with the other side, with the witches cult, to get her killed. And right here, now that she's back alive, he's feeling like, damn it, what did I do? Now they recreated her body, and now I have to suffer this haunting again. There's two sides of it. One could be strictly the idea that he sent her off to her death with the whole white whale situation. He feels guilty for it now, and that's probably why he went downhill and he's such a dirtbag now. Or it could be an idea that he literally helped the witch's cult in doing that, and they went off and reincarnated her body or made her corpse move around, and now he's suddenly upset about the fact that they went that far with her dead body. He probably put this all into play. It was all part of his plan. It just kind of went a little too far for him. Yeah, and even when she goes over to kill Heinkel before Reinhard shows up, she goes to raise up her sword. Later on, he mentions, did you see her face? She was so angry at us. Again, that guilt. He sees when she's looking down with those dead eyes, oh, she's looking down at me like that because I'm at fault. She blames me. She hates me. I don't know necessarily that's going to have anything to do with their relationship. It could. There could be some aspect that he felt like he was never good enough for her, and he was striving to become the next Sword Saint, take that from her, but she was like 50, and he still was not taking that from her, and he wanted to take that burden from her by becoming the Sword Saint, and it never happened. And again, that's why I get my theory and the idea that he tried to get her killed. There could be an aspect here where he always felt like he wasn't good enough for her. But yeah, Reinhard shows up. Oh my gosh, dude. The weight in this scene is too much. The moment he shows up, flicks her off there. Wilhelm's screaming out, don't, that's my Theresia. Again, I'm kind of curious if that's an aspect that he feels like this should be something I take. Don't take this from me. Could it be an aspect of him trying to fulfill that desire that he had for a long time to put her to rest? That all those things kind of mix in there. This should be my job. I should do this. Don't bloody your hands again, technically. That whole thing there. Let me do it. But as we see at the very end, it does imply that no, he wasn't going to do it. By him acknowledging Reinhard choosing to end her implies that he wasn't going to. He wasn't going to do it. He might have even went there to die. He might have wanted to both of them to die together. That's probably more so there. He wanted to die with her. That could be as well. But yeah, the moment that Reinhard draws that blade, oh, again, the weight of just doing it, the weight of him actually drawing that shows that he has no hesitation. This is a corpse. I already killed her before. You all told me that I've killed her. She's not alive. She's already dead. I've been told for 15 years I killed her. So she can't be alive. Again, there's a psychological thing here, which I'm assuming this writer's getting into because damn, he's good. That Reinhard is so broken, the person in front of me is a symbol of what I've already killed. I've killed it for 15 years. She can't be here. You told me I killed her. She's not alive. She's dead. He has no hesitation. In Wilhelm's mind, she never died. She's always been alive. And he's seeing her again. He doesn't want to let her go now. She's not dead. She can't be dead. Heinkel, again, my assumption here is that I had her get killed, and so she's here to get revenge. She hates me. Reinhard, I killed her 15 years ago, and I've always killed her. Ugh, it's heavy. It's so freaking heavy. And that sword being drawn was like, holy crap. Because this is technically the first time we've seen it drawn. I don't recall that he drew it when he was fighting Elsa. Here, he's drawing it for real. There's so much weight in that blade. The weight in the area around. Everything's kind of rumbling. It's just, oh, it was so freaking good. And again, it's so emotional at the same time. And then, yeah, goes to attack and just one hit. One hit's all it took. That blade is insanely powerful, I'm assuming. Or at least just who draws it, it's extremely powerful. But yeah, that's when we get into the story of Theresia, which the biggest thing that came from this whole backstory for me, honestly, is really seeing how important Wilhelm was. How important he was to her life. Because yes, the beginning segment's super tragic. It is literally the forced into soldier. Be a soldier. Draw the sword. Pick it up. You're going to kill things. Go kill things. You're the blade. You're the kingdom's blade. Go kill things. And she doesn't want to do it. The earlier segment really is that aspect of destroying her brother. And I love that he was a good boy. I love that her brother was a good boy. Really, yeah, that aspect that she just wanted to pick flowers. That's all she did. My brothers, they all were trained to become the next sword saint. That's what they do. The men of this family, that's what they do. The moment that they come out of that mama, they are swinging a sword because they're to be the next sword saint. That's what they dream for. The Astrea family, that's what they dream for. And her big brother was doing that as well. Swinging that sword every single day, never missing his training. And then I literally pick up a blade one time. I'm a sword saint. How devastating. I just destroyed my big brother's dream. I loved seeing him train. She loved seeing how hard he worked. And I just took it from him just by picking up a wooden sword. Take the sword. Here's what he's been striving for his entire life. Here you go. How devastating is that to her? That she took that, stole that from him, basically. It's so tragic. She didn't want it. She didn't want to kill things. It shows, obviously, in a lot of symbolisms, what I love the symbolisms. It keeps showing that every single time. She loves flowers. The flowers, these symbols of life, they grow and they blossom out. They're beautiful. It's life. Now I have to give up that and go to the battlefield. Just like when she draws that blade eventually, it shows that flower just burn away. Finally, all of her dreams are just burned away. She didn't want it. She loves life. She loves life. And now she's sent to the battlefield, to the demi-human war. Now she's going out there and she has to kill people. She doesn't want to do it. It was interesting that they showed that she never did it. So they covered it up. She never drew the blade. She never went to battle. She just hid away in her tent. And everybody else fought for her. And yes, her brother, again, her good boy. Her brother's such a good boy. Him coming in that tent, I'm like, is this what we're going to have where he says how much she stole everything from him and all of his dreams? Nope, he's a good brother. He's a good brother. I'll handle it for you. Don't worry. I love the blade. I love being a part of this family. It kind of showed here that, yeah, he's obviously going to be upset. It's obviously going to be upsetting. A lot of hard work and effort. But at least it showed that to her big brother, There was more important things than that blade. It was more important things than that title. What was important to him was family. I love this family. I'm happy that I was born in this family, and I'm happy to be your big brother. She's more important than that. I love it. This guy's so good. It sucks that he dies. It's like he's a good boy, not allowed to be in the story. You're too good of a boy. Get out of here. Get out of here. Go die. But yeah. So pretty much every single one of the family dies there. Like, it shows, like, all of her brothers, even the uncle who was the former sword saint. Everybody's dying. Everybody's dying. So she's forced to basically have to pick it up. Everybody else that was basically shielding me is dead now. I can't do this anymore. I have to pick that blade. And the father's words start to kind of flood into her head. Oh, it sucks. Pick up the sword. Pick up the sword. You're the next one. Pick it up. Pick it up. Pick it up. It was kind of interesting to kind of show to her as well how different it was. How her strength was so different than her brother's. And it kind of hurts in the idea of showing how he probably wouldn't have died if you picked up that blade, is the idea that in that moment when she first picked up that sword, you've seen all of his weak points. You've seen how he wasn't worthy of this blade. You see how he had these openings. No, that's why you're the sword saint. Pick it up. Because you see things that he doesn't see. He was weak, basically. It sucks. And again, that was symbolic-wise and visually absolutely beautiful scene of her picking up the sword. Again, just the shot coming into her picking it up, finally her own words saying, I gotta pick it up, grabbing the sword, and again, the flower burning away, basically showing, give up on this. This is what you love, give up on it. Don't worry about life, your love of life, all that kind of stuff, get rid of it. And I love how it cuts directly over to Wilhelm. And again, this is really, really where it solidifies to me how great Wilhelm was. And again, that idea of showing love rather than speaking love. That actions speak louder than words. That he took up the blade and he fought and trained and got strong enough that he can prove to her, they don't need you. They don't need the sword saint. I will take this burden from you, basically. He literally took that burden from her. She didn't want to fight. She didn't want to kill. She didn't want to do this stuff. So he said, I'll take it for you. I'll take that burden. Let me carry it. I'll do this for you. And ends up kind of overcoming her in order to show her that. Well, what do you fight for? To protect you. You don't have to worry about fighting anymore. I'll handle it. I'll do it for you. So good. So freaking good. I love it. Such a great... I've always liked Wilhelm's character. And my heart broke for him and his mistake that he can't seem to get past. And I wish that got resolved in this episode. I really do love his character, but this really cemented to me his relationship with Theresia and all the stuff that he did for her. So freaking good. Yeah, showing little brief shots of the family, growing up, being happy together, showing little Heinkel before he becomes a douchebag. Showing that whole thing there before he becomes a douchebag. I almost thought it showed briefly his wife died, but I'm guessing not. It shows, him bringing in his wife, and it shows a shot of her being in bed. I thought for the brief moment that she was at her deathbed, but it's probably her just being weak after birth, because then it cuts over and, they're carrying Reinhard in their arms. It didn't show her again after that. That's the only concerning thing. So I don't know if it's implying that his mother died birthing him. I don't know if they've ever alluded to the wife. She could still be alive. Again, it could just be that she's tired from giving birth. It happens, right? We'll see. We'll see. But yes, a very, very telling scene after this of before they go off to fight the White Whale. That yes, Wilhelm's not happy. That apparently Heinkel has put into effect, or at least recommended, that they send Theresia to go fight the White Whale. And yes, they bring up once again that the princess has been kidnapped or missing or whatever, and Wilhelm, being the captain of the royal guard, has to go find her. And so, yes, she has to finally take up the sword again. This is something that Wilhelm has been fighting to keep her from having to do for a long time, so he's obviously upset. No, I'll handle it. I'll handle it. I'll handle it. No, this is fine. You have to do this. I'll do this one thing. It's fine. People are in danger right now. I need to go do this. And again, Wilhelm doesn't like this. He doesn't like the fact that Heinkel has put this into effect, that he has pushed this. It just seems like Wilhelm at this moment does not like Heinkel. Again, it could be the fact that Heinkel is putting into this recommendation that she goes and that's making him upset, but it does feel like right here there's already a rift happening between at least Wilhelm and Heinkel. And I think this is probably a sign of my theory right here, that I think already Heinkel right here is trying to take that title. That yes, even 50 years old, she still has the title of Sword Saint. She still has this divine protection, even at 50. And again, my assumption here is that, obviously, being of the Astrea family, he would probably wanting to take that title. That the next generation is probably training and getting stronger for the sake of then taking that from her. But she still hasn't given it up. And I think this is probably going to get into some deeper aspects of how the divine protection itself works, that it blesses a person specifically because of who they are. And it's probably waiting for somebody like Reinhard to finally grow up and get strong. It doesn't want to go to Heinkel. Why? Because it probably doesn't deem Heinkel worthy. Because Heinkel probably isn't a good, sound person. And it seems like that's a good sign right here, if my theory is correct, that he probably wanted her killed so that he can take it. He wanted her injured so he can finally take it from her. He wanted that power. And he probably put into effect the kidnapping to have Wilhelm get kind of wrapped up in that whole situation, and then to just suggest that Theresia go handle it. Well, she's a sword saint. Let her go handle it. Oh, yeah, you're probably going to have Wilhelm handle this situation. Yeah, she's going to have to now go. Get her back on the battlefield so that we can get that divine protection taken from her. I think he put this into play. I literally do think, and again, I think it is an aspect of that he's been training and training and training to take that title, and she's not giving it up yet. She needs to give it up. That's my theory right now, and I think the signs are there that Wilhelm is already not liking Heinkel right here, that he's made a choice that's angered him, and it could just, again, be that he doesn't want her on the battlefield, and that's making him mad, but I think there's rifts already there. I think they already have rifts here. But yeah, she goes over there and curses him. I think they've mentioned the fact that his shoulder was messed up before. I don't know they've ever mentioned before in this, since it's before this episode, because he mentioned at the very beginning of the episode that she literally did that on purpose. I'm going to curse you, Reaper's divine protection. Now, if you go chasing after me, it will never close. This wound will never close. And sure enough, he's like, it ain't going to do nothing. That ain't going to stop me from chasing. You're not, yeah, stop it. That makes it meaningless. Stop it. I'm going to chase after you. Stop it. It's like a cute but like at the same time tragic thing that she did that. But yeah, he's like, you gotta go there and be 50 years old with all those youngsters. You're not gonna be able to keep up. Don't bring that up. That's so rude. That's so rude. But yeah, then does the usual, ask for one more time. When I get back, you could tell me that you love me. Flag, which we already know happens. But yeah, she goes out to the battlefield, goes to draw her sword, loses her divine protection, immediately knows that Reinhard took it. Or maybe it was an assumption, but she literally right there realizes that it went to Reinhard. She says Reinhard's name. She knows who it goes to. I wonder if it was told to her or that she just assumed that Reinhard's a beautiful boy, that he would probably take the divine protection eventually. I don't know. And then yes, after she gets knocked down, Pandora shows up. Yeah, I think this is a question that several people had. My brother was even bringing up the question mark of why do people still know who Theresia is if she fell in battling the white whale? My assumption was that she just got hit really hard, but she didn't get consumed, and then that she passed away. But no, right here it shows, or it seems to imply that no, it was Pandora. Pandora possibly killed her. I mean, she whispered, I want to understand you more, and then she fell over. The assumption is that Pandora killed her. So that sucks. But it could also mean that she never died. It could possibly be that all that happened right here is Pandora knocked her out and then took control of her, and that she never died. It would be really tragic if at some point somebody confronts Reinhard, like Pandora or somebody, and says, oh, look, it's the grandma killer. How'd you feel killing your grandma? She was a corpse. I didn't kill her. She was already dead. No, she wasn't actually dead. I just took control of her. That would suck. That would really suck. But I don't know. I wouldn't put it past it. I wouldn't put it past this situation. With this, how it plays that out, I would not doubt it. I would not doubt it. But yeah, it was interesting that the moment that Pandora shows up, she gets really angry. She says, oh, you don't like me. She goes to draw her sword and chases after her, says something to the effect of, find happiness like I did. Basically saying to Reinhard, don't be drawn to the blade. Be happy. Which is sad to realize at this point because it does seem like Reinhard's going down that path. He's very full of justice. He's a good person. But when it comes to family and love, he's totally cut off. He is completely cut off. It shows with how the later scene happens. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I did what was right. All right, off to the next battle. Just seen his grandmother die again. Off to the next battle. Wilhelm is in absolute pain. Off to the next battle. Not a tear. Not a sign of remorse. Looks over, glances over, what's going on over there? Back to the next battle. He's broken. He's totally broken. But yeah, Theresia cuts Pandora in half again. Pandora likes getting cut in half. immediately comes up the side of her and says, I want to understand you more. And then Theresia falls over. I really do believe Pandora's power is going to be basically manipulating things to what she thinks. Just like when we first seen them together with Regulus, she says, you're back at the mansion with your harem. And it's like he never was there. It's like she can rewrite reality. And so right there, just rewrite that she collapses. I want to understand you more. Collapse. Like whatever she wants, it just happens. It's terrifying. Pandora is absolutely terrifying. I'm super intrigued to find out more about that character. Again, it kind of implied the idea that she said by the authority of Vanity or something like that when they were first there. I don't know if that implies that she's going to be a witch of Vanity or if she's the Archbishop of Vanity. Commenters, I don't need the answer. I'm just having fun speculating. But yeah, that's when we get the very, very difficult scene of Theresia passing away, ? Again. Again, Reinhard showing no emotion in this scene, which is just heartbreaking to me. But again, he's being a realist. She's already dead. She's been dead. It doesn't shock me, but still seeing the pain of his grandfather just breaking down in front of him, no emotion. Like me watching, and he's not my grandfather. I'm broken by this. The absolute lack of emotion from Reinhard, that just absolutely scares me. I think this guy's going down a very dark path. I think he is literally becoming a puppet, a doll, with no emotions. And that's probably going to blow up in his face at some point. But yeah, we'll get the solidification here that I kind of assumed Theresia seen it. You didn't have to say I love you. You've always shown it to me. Ugh. For the last 20 years, I never said I love you, Baka. I've always seen it. You gave me so much happiness. It sucks. It absolutely sucks. Absolutely broke me. But I love the fact there's one other thing that she never got an answer for. She always had an answer that he loved her. It's just one of those things where she has the one thing that she wanted to answer to, which was, what would you say? Would you be surprised if you knew that it was love at first sight? It didn't take him overpowering her. I think that's the key thing there. It didn't take it until the moment that you overpowered me and said that you'll protect me and you'll handle the sword and all that kind of stuff that I finally fell in love with you. I loved you from the first moment I seen you. It was always love. It's so good. And I think there's like an aspect of there of almost saying a realization that I didn't love you because you were strong. I just loved you. Ugh. It sucks. And then we have the aftercast scene, which, gosh, I want to strangle Heinkel so bad. I love that it's Kendra Suda, and I love Kendra Suda's voice, but damn, I want to strangle Heinkel. And again, I have no doubts that eventually this writer is going to make me like him as a character. This writer is so good at taking the nastiest characters and making me see this other side of them that makes sense. And I'm sure that Heinkel, again, a lot of it has to do with them wanting to take that burden upon himself from Theresia. Like, he probably seen that Theresia was having to struggle with this duty, and again, that duty led to her death. But I think there is a side of it that he wanted to take it by force. I think at some point it built into this desire to take that power, and he sent her off to her death in order to claim that power, which really sucks. Or he could have just had somebody whisper in his ears, could have had Pandora whisper in his ears saying, send her off to the White Whale, I'll take the power from her and she'll be free, and then you can have the title. And he fell for it. Again, there's so much signs in this episode that he feels guilty. And that guilt at this very end point right here just shifts again. Sees her burn away, just go all out. Whatever, I've gone this far, I might as well go all the way. I'm going to take the title from him now. I want to take that title from him. Nobody will ever call you a sword saint again. They're going to see that you murdered your grandmother. I'm going to make sure everybody knows it. Doesn't work on Reinhard. He's like, what are you talking about? She's always been dead. You misunderstand. She's always been dead. She is a corpse that was never alive. She died a long time ago. What are you talking about? Everybody's been blaming me for this entire time that I killed her. What are you talking about? She's always been dead. She's always been dead. You guys drilled that into my brain. You guys drilled that into my brain that she's dead and it's my fault. Why would I believe you now that you're going to call me a murderer now? It's almost like guilty as charged. Guilty as charged. I'm already that. It's so this family is just so freaking broken, dude, and it's tragic. It's tragic. And again, it does feel like Heinkel's trying to pull into some sort of plot here. And again, this does lead me into believing that Heinkel is probably tied in with the witch's cult. I think he was probably whispered in his ear to get her involved, and then they brought back her body, and it probably threw him off for a minute, thinking, holy crap, she's back from the grave to come back and kill me. She's angry at me because I did that. He probably didn't know they were going to use her body. And now he's just kind of freaking out. This whole thing happened because I wanted that title. I might as well get it. I might as well go all the way. And finally, Wilhelm telling him, stop. Just stop. Like, just stop, dude. Just stop. It's... God, this family, dude. And again, him bringing up the fact that she had hate for you and me. She hates us. Again, I think that's guilt. But yeah, then Wilhelm asks the question, did you regret cutting down your grandmother? I did what was right. No regrets. Exactly. You are right. I was wrong. Again, sign right there that he wasn't going to do it. Sign right there where I think that Wilhelm was not going to follow through with taking down Theresia. And that it took Reinhard showing up with, unfortunately, no emotions in that situation and striking her down. I don't know. I'm really struggling with Wilhelm right now in his relationship with Reinhard, because right here he's like, you're good, you're strong, your strength is needed. I failed, I was wrong, I have nothing more to say. Go. They need you, go. It's go Sword Saint. Go Sword Saint Reinhard. Not go my grandson. Not I'm proud of you, good job. I'm sorry that you had to carry that burden. I'm sorry that I blamed you originally. I'm sorry for all this stuff. My gosh, I'm getting emotional. Go. Just go. I hope that after this whole battle that he does confront Reinhard and say, thank you, and I'm sorry that I did that, because he still hasn't apologized. He still hasn't told Reinhard, I'm sorry for blaming you. Because even right here, he's still carrying that burden. Reinhard still right here is carrying that burden, because he said earlier, I killed her back then. I killed her back then. Nobody disputed it in this area. Nobody right here disputed that. He still believes that. This sucks. This freaking family, dude. I freaking hate it. And I love Reinhard so much, and I love Wilhelm even more so now, and I want this to not be a thing. But yeah, Reinhard leaves. Heinkel tells him that he shouldn't go alone. He says, don't worry about me. You should worry about your own safety. And then leaves. And then Henkel's screaming about, what the hell, damn you all. You should all die. Roll over and die. Gosh, it's making me believe they're going to turn this guy into a freaking archbishop. Are we going to get an Archbishop Heinkel? I feel like we're going to get Archbishop Heinkel. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's a very difficult episode. Episode 64 of ReZero. Sorry for the long video. It was a lot to talk about. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below, comment, let me know what's in the episode. Again, if you are a source material reader, I don't need to answer to any of my speculation. Just having fun speculating and whatnot. If you like this content and you want to support channel more, I have links in the description below. Greatly appreciate it. But until next time, y'all take care.